Sub-Sahara Africa, south of the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert did not always exist. It's about 10,000 years old. Once had been fertile land. Permanent drought caused that desert to expand, and it's still expanding. North of the Sahara Desert would be North Africa, which is very much a part of the Mediterranean world, southern Europe, and so on. The Sahara Desert became a barrier, in most cases, not all, as you will see, between North Africa and south of the Sahara Desert. We may also speak of Sub-Sahara Africa as Black Africa. Here is where human beings originated. However far we may push back the clock of time for the origins of our species, perhaps 7 million years ago, the branching out between the great apes and what will eventually become our own human species, but it originated in Central Africa. There is no question about that. Let me speak at the outset about an issue of great concern for many, and in a sense dispose of it. And that is the matter of race. The matter of race. Race itself is such an imprecise term. What does it mean? It's taken to mean usually skin color. Although the people of Africa and the people of the Polynesian Islands may be very, very different, but both have dark complexions and therefore be connected in the popular mind. But let me speak about it in this brief way, in a technical sense. If we are going to be talking about skin color, then what we're talking about with regard to that dark complexion of sub-Sahara Africans is the presence of a chemical called melanin. With that gene pool reproducing itself in that part of the world, equatorial Africa, where the sun's rays are direct, and as we now well know, potentially very harmful to the human body and the human skin cancers and all of that. The presence of melanin, that darkening of the complexion, helps to prevent those dangers from the sun afflicting those human beings. In other words, in evolutionary terms, the presence of melanin, statistically more likely to grow to adulthood, reproduce offspring who would have that melanin chemical as well. Fair complexion is simply the absence of melanin. Go up to northern regions of the world and you see a fairer complexion, the absence of melanin. The sun's rays are indirect, does not need that kind of protection in evolutionary terms to survive and reproduce statistically. Even today, one could start a walk from equatorial regions of the world northward, and one would find that gradual lightening of the complexion as the sun's rays become more and more indirect. So, you will notice that I said nothing about intelligence or advancement or anything of that sort. Those are later categories that are ascribed for political reasons, for economic reasons, at a later time. So we're talking about earliest human beings coming out of that part of Central Africa. Now, for our purposes, to deal with history as such, let me talk about certain civilizations of ancient and medieval Africa. Which is to say, starting with the Nile River, that one area where the barrier of the Sahara Desert could be broken, that is to say, the link between the upper reaches of the Nile, flowing northward into Egypt eventually, and emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. That Nile River, it's 4,000 or so miles, being a linkage, and there's some controversy concerning Sub-Sahara Africa's influence on Egypt, and the rest of the Mediterranean world for that matter. In any case, one of the first of these civilizations that I want to mention were the Kush.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?